Hello, everybody. I am the CEO of iArcade, and you are watching the best show in the world, Retro Buzz. Let's go.
This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why need a cameraman when you can just do it yourself? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. Alright, so it's Friday, and you guys know what time it is. It is time for the Retro Buzz, and I am here with my co-hosts here. We've got E3 winners and losers. We'll go through this, and we've got our special guests coming. Glenn, what is going on?
Look, it's time to step up the game. I'm getting out of 1989, and I'm getting a little more into like the early 2000s here with tech. So hopefully it'll be a better show.
Are you though? Because it looks like you're stuck in Tron, which is definitely not early 2000s.
Okay, 1982, but it's still an improvement.
It's an improvement, yeah. And I know Complete Geek TV is in the process of trying to get on, but they're having problems with their camera, getting their camera on.
You know what it is?
We
it's
can
all
hear
their fans of their latest video. They're like all over them. They did a really good video, so they're probably just, too big for us now.
Well, we'll get them in here as soon as they're able to get their camera situated and rocking and rolling here, because they're supposed to be doing a giveaway right after this show, okay? But I'm going to let you guys know that that's not even going to happen, and I'll tell you why. Because I actually won the giveaway. Adam and I had like this little deal going on.
How convenient!
And Jordan doesn't even know this yet, and I wasn't even like, maybe I wasn't supposed to say anything. Okay, forget I said anything like that. No, in all seriousness. So after this show, in case we're running into problems with these guys, they're going to be doing a giveaway. We want you guys to go over to their channel. They're doing, I believe it's the PlayStation 5 controller. It's like a colored controller and an Xbox Series X. And hopefully when they get on, they can give you more detail. But that's what I know as far as that goes. So they're going to be doing
free stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Free stuff's always nice.
Glenn likes free stuff too.
I live on free stuff.
So hopefully we can get those guys in here. They have audio, so you guys can talk to us, Jordan and Adam, if you want, because we should be able to hear you, and then hopefully you guys can get the audio or video going as you were talking. We'll see. They might not be even near it, so we'll see what's happening. So let's kind of dive into this going on here, E3. Before we get into the topics, though, what did you guys think with E3? I didn't really spend a lot of time watching. I watched Jordan and Adam's stream on it, but Doug, did you pay a lot of attention to everything?
Yeah, I did. I mean, again, we're caught up in yet another sequential year of E3 being all digital instead of a physical, dog and pony show with everything being at the LA Convention Center. It's a fun thing to see it in person. It kind of loses its luster, so to speak, transferring over to digital. But yeah, I kept up with it. It was kind of hard because it was literally like 5 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, going on into Tuesday. It just kind of depended on what company you were following, who was doing announcements when. So it's a lot of information, a lot of companies giving out announcements, sneak peeks, trailers to upcoming video games, and different consoles, platforms, home arcades, you name it, everything's covered. So there's definitely a lot of content out there. It's hard to kind of like absorb it all because it's literally information overload. But I kept up with it as best I could.
What about you, Glenn? Did you spend a lot of time looking at different things or keeping up with the different companies? Because I know you don't buy any of the recent consoles, and there was a lot of recent console games announced.
No, there's some things, but I'll let Doug take care of the majority of it. My announcement tied me up. the Glenn's Retro Show, Disc of Tron Spinner, and Deflector Joystick announcement. So I was concentrating on mine. Again, a lot of questions about that. So I let Doug deal with the smaller stuff, like from Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo. I had to really concentrate on the GRS Disc of Tron controllers, and
well, you can see how out of the loop that Glenn is with E3, because Sony hasn't participated in E3 since what, 2018?
Yep.
I want to say
yet again, yeah, no E3 for them again this year. Last year they did their own state of play. This year, I don't think they've even officially announced a new state of play. So everyone was kind of expecting them to say, yeah, sure, we'll do our own thing 2 weeks after E3 or whatever. But to my knowledge, I don't think they've made that announcement. So everyone's kind of just waiting for the shoe to drop.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the Retro Buzz. So it's a retro announcement from Sony from 2 or 3 years ago. Get with
all
it, guys.
All right, we'll give that to you. We'll give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's kind of dive. We got a lot to talk about. Let's dive into it, and hopefully, when these guys are able to jump on, we can talk with them.
I'm using a Mac. I can't. It's a habit Mac.
Here we go with the Mac
or iPhone. It's probably an iPhone.
So Doug was
Android. You'd be okay.
Doug was kind enough to put this list together for us. Save us a little bit of time here, but the first announcement, Doug, why don't you take us through that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, just throughout bullet points, because like I said, obviously there's so much information, too much to cover, but things that are topical to what we typically talk about here on the channel. First of all, iArcade, they had multiple announcements, but some of the bigger things they revealed was a new Mutant League Football partnership, where Mutant League Football is going to be coming onto the iArcade, as well as having its own dedicated graphical version of the iArcade with the Mutant League Football dressings. I have Mutant League Football on the Nintendo Switch, as well as the old school Sega Genesis version. Both of them, I love the games, but the new Nintendo Switch one, it's pretty much as close to Blitz as you're going to get from any of these home arcade companies, at least right now. So definitely, if you're a fan of NFL Blitz or that franchise specifically, you'll definitely, if you're not familiar with Mutant League Football, you'll probably be pleasantly surprised. It's a super fun game. And on top of that, they also released a new Space Ace cabinet, same iArcade footprint and everything like that, but it's got these Space Ace graphics. So if you didn't buy the Dragon's Lair one, you like Space Ace more, then you got an opportunity to do that. And they also announced Beach Buggy Racing 2. And again, it's also going to have its own graphically independent designed cabinet as well. And they had a lot of awesome games. I want to say it was the Friday of E3 that they announced that were coming to the store, like 5 or 6 really great games. So a lot of cool stuff coming from iArcade for sure.
And Glenn's over there practicing his driving because did you guys get Beach Buggy 2 for iArcade? Have you played it?
I did not. No.
Okay.
No, but I'm still playing the first one. I still find the first one fun. But that girl AI, she cheats every time.
Listen, that game, out of all the games that are not on any other cabinet, we'll say that, Beach Buggy, that is one of my favorites. I like Mario Kart. I like Diddy Kong Racing. So this is like a no-brainer for me. Like, I play those 2 games, Beach Buggy and Beach Buggy 2, until Toe Jam and Earl come out, and I can actually win in Retromania. These are my 2 favorite. These are like my 2 favorite.
Live stream, they were killing me in that game.
Oh, I actually think it's tougher on the iArcade personally, but
it's worse with 2 Tron joysticks.
Yeah, Mutant League Football is definitely going to be a day one purchase for me on the iArcade. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I already have it on the Nintendo Switch and have played the bejesus out of it, but I'm anxious to revisit it on the iArcade. And there's talk / heavy hints that it will also have online play for the iArcade. So, I mean, that's just going to be a great experience overall.
All right. So, moving along here, what do we have? iArcade knocked it out of the park. Didn't we want to kind of rate these announcements, Doug? We want to try to say...
Yeah, I mean, we just ask the audience what they thought, because, the show card, winners and losers, everyone's obviously going to have their own opinion. Everyone's wants, desires, needs, expectations are all going to vary significantly. But if you followed iArcade, you saw these announcements, just let us know in the chat with a W or an L if you thought what they announced over the weekend was a win or a loss. Do you think iArcade did a good job? Give us a W in the chat. If you don't think you were impressed by anything, give us an L.
And also, let's do this too, Doug. On a scale of 1 to 5, where does iArcade rate on their announcements? And I'll put a note of it. And we'll see at the end of the announcements who actually, or which company actually gets the win. So
Yeah, seeing a lot of
W's.
I haven't seen an L yet, so that's that's good sign for iArcade. They did have a great live stream specifically for the Mutant League football announcement. They had Tim Kitzrow, I always forget his last name, but the voice of NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, the voice of Midway, so to speak.
Yeah.
He was on there live talking. He's also one of the announcers slash guest voices in Mutant League football, so it makes sense that he'd be there. But he was a surprise guest and got to talk to everybody during the live stream. So I mean, it was a very E3-esque, presentation and announcement. There was live band going on. Like Jong really did a great job with his presentation of the announcements. It made it really feel like a big experience, and it's all about the experience. And
thanks, Doug.
yeah, Glenn, don't worry, write that check later.
All right. So we're seeing that it's coming in here, a lot of W's. I don't, like you said, I don't see one L. That's good. So Jong, if you're watching, kudos. Give me a number in the chat room on a scale of 1 to 5. The announcements that came forward.
I see a 4.75.
I got that written down. 4.75.
Yeah.
Just before we move on to the next category, because hey, this is how you guys speak to these companies that are watching this. So
Brad says 5, so yeah. Looks
Fives?
like the overwhelming majority is everyone was pretty happy with the iArcade announcements. So good job, iArcade and Jong and his team.
All right.
They're chugging along, getting some good product out there.
That was really good. That's a good announcement. All right. Here we go. Arcade 1-Up.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise, Doug.
Yeah,
Glenn?
I mean, really wasn't a surprise because we talked about leaks previously, and everything that we talked about for the most part on those leaks showed up as their official announcements. We got the official announcement for the Street Fighter II Big Blue cabinet. What we didn't know was the games listings and things like that. To my surprise, the Street Fighter II Big Blue cabinet does have quite an impressive lineup as far as I'm concerned. It's got 12 games, and it isn't repurposing or reusing the 12-in-1 that was already seen on the Capcom Legacy or the Street Fighter cocktail machine. So it's a new, unique lineup that has a pretty diverse game lineup, has Wi-Fi enabled capabilities. So this is going to be your first foray into playing Street Fighter. They were a little lacking on some of the details. We found out later on with a news interview with their new chief marketing officer, where he mentioned something about headphone jack is going to be present on these Wi-Fi cabinets, allowing people to have party chat, so to speak, and talk online with people, which is a cool new feature. Something you think they would have talked about and put head front and center of all their announcements, but for whatever reason they didn't. But that's kind of par for the course. They also unveiled some more details on X-Men, gave it a new kind of redesign. They changed the graphics just a little bit on the side of the cabinet, repurposed the front to where it's now got molded coin doors instead of a sticker coin door, which they showed at CES, as well as new riser art. And then we got a Simpsons announcement and de-announcement, because it wouldn't be Arcade 1-Up if it wasn't 2 steps forward, 3 steps back as far as their communication. Simpsons got announced, and then it got pulled from their website, and then it was a site. It didn't get announced, but it did get announced, and I mean, we all know it's coming. They're obviously just trying to get their ducks in a row and things like that. And then we got a Class of '81 cabinet announcement with Miss Pac-Man and Galaga. A nice homage to the Namco 20th anniversary cabinet. Again, another 12-in-1 game lineup with Wi-Fi. We don't really know how that works. No further details, but all these new machines will have Wi-Fi. So take that for whatever it is. Oh, people talking?
We've just been. I think what happened was Jordan found out about what Adam and I had been discussing, and he pulled the plug on him.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Rolled out the Android phone. Very good, guys.
We apologize for this beautiful quality video you're getting right now.
We wanted to make sure it's real high quality.
To answer your question, Glenn, now we're using the MacBook and it's working.
Oh!
But
wait, what were you using before? Was it another Mac product?
I mean, the computer was, yes.
You're not helping us here.
Yeah, that's when you plead the fifth, Jordan.
Jordan,
you don't answer that
question. Guys,
to be fair,
they used all the magic dust on the iArcade video, which was a fantastic video they did. They used all the magic pixie dust, and that's just what happened. It dried up.
Yeah.
Man, we're looking good. In this,
I mean,
480p.
if we're gonna be totally honest, though, our capture card and everything was showing up in Streamlabs and OBS on our side, but then when we went to this, I don't know. I don't know what's. I have no idea what's going on. We're hoping everything resolves itself for the stream later tonight that we told everyone we'd do. So
That's all right. I already let all the audience know ahead of time that they're supposed to go over there, but I said you're not giving anything away because Adam and I kind of worked out a deal that I would be getting the winnings, and yeah, we're just kind of. Yeah, I know. Sorry. See, I knew he didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But that's happening. Guys, you missed the first part with the iArcade. Really quick, on a scale of 1 to 5, is it a W or is it a loss?
what are we talking about?
Their announcements. Their E3 announcements.
Oh, the E3, the iArcade E3 announcements?
Yeah, the ones that you guys have been streaming all week and paying more attention than 90% of us here.
Yeah, hence the iArcade part of the question. I mean, if I'm doing 1 through...
Hang on a second. Hang on. I'll make it easy for you here. I'll give you the cheat sheet. There you go.
Thank you.
So hard to find decent co-hosts these days.
Well, the thing is, iArcade announces a lot of games all the time, so it's hard to like...
No, you got to grade it.
You got to grade it? Give it a W or a loss?
Conversation about it.
Well, I'm just
B. I'm just going to give it a B.
Give it a B?
That's the best.
So a W or L, I give it a B.
Way to color outside the lines there.
Hold on.
Oh.
1 out of 5, W or an L. Adam
Listen,
gives it a B.
When I got a B in school, I counted that as a W. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, we're moving on. We're over at Arcade 1-Up. All right, guys. Doug talked about the cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if I would actually be, wanting the class of '81 cabinet, but I got to say, I really like the cabinet. I do. Is it worth me getting rid of my Miss Pac-Man and Galaga for that? I don't know, but I do like what they did with that.
Fingers crossed it actually uses the class of '81 ROM because it has a secret way you can actually play the original Pac-Man on there. So you'd be technically getting 13 games in one, and that would be the only time you could get Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man together. The marriage, as you would.
Okay, so everybody swithed over to grading now, apparently, in the chat room. So, way to go, Adam.
Yeah.
Way to change our whole structure here.
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, let's just go ahead and give it a W or an L. Arcade 1-Up announcements.
W or L for Arcade 1-Up, because I see a lot of D's in here for Arcade 1-Up, a lot of C's.
Yeah.
Let's rate Arcade 1-Up's
Keep the grading skills
announcements.
to W and L.
And listen, guys,
Keep it simple.
Don't give it off of because it was leaked. I mean, don't give the grade off of the leak. Give it off of what you see with it. So
it's like everyone's gonna have different expectations. Like everyone, if you go into something with a preconceived notion of like this is what somebody has to show me to make me happy, then obviously you're never gonna be happy. But from a high level, it looks like there's definitely some disappointment across the board.
Oh, jeez, dude, they're like,
club, man. It was a disappointment.
Yeah.
These guys are brutal.
And I don't know if that's because people already knew these, so to speak, because of the leaks, or it's because they just wanted something different, something more diverse.
Well, I think also it might have been they had previous announcements like the Dragon's Lair cabinet and some other things that probably been good if they showed them as well, just maybe get more photographs. I think people were actually looking for something along those lines.
Yeah, which was surprising because we did get like more updated information of X-Men, which was announced at the exact same time as Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, and Killer Instinct, but no further follow-up on that. But my inclination and suspicion from the CES announcements was those announcements at that time, that digital render, that's literally as far as that project was along. Like there wasn't like prototypes being made. There wasn't any kind of testing of emulation. It was literally, hey, we've got a digital render of a cabinet we're looking to do.
And
So
correct me
I
if
think
I'm
that's
wrong.
probably why people were expecting an update because it's been 6 months. We're like, okay, do you at least have a working prototype? Do we have a time frame? Do we have a window?
And correct me if I'm wrong. We didn't see any headphone jacks on the leaks when they leaked it. Correct?
Correct.
The angle, could you even see from the angle that?
But then again, that kind of goes back to that silly thing where I always harp on them about their inconsistent communication. Because even on their own website, Some pictures would have the headphone jack, some pictures wouldn't. So like people aren't, going over their, proofreading with a fine-tooth comb and saying, hey, does this all match? Does this, cohesively go across? Do the product specifications we have here not have spelling errors? Because wink, wink, nudge, nudge, they did. Do they have the appropriate games listed? Do they all have a cohesive picture of a headphone jack if it's going to be included? And if you're including a headphone jack, and lo and behold, it turns out to be so you can plug in headphones and a microphone and talk to people, that's cool. You would think you would mention that in the product specifications or some sort of announcement for all those press releases you gave out to all those web outlets to report on your product and build up the hype. They didn't do that. So it's just like,
Well, I think the Dragon's Lair got pulled because of Doug personally not liking the little, cell phone thing. So we went back to the drawing board because of Doug. So thank Doug for that one.
You're welcome, because if they did that, that just means they're going to release a better product, hopefully. Because if they release that cell phone idea, again, it's like giving somebody a Lamborghini with like cloth interior and a roll-up windows. Like, it doesn't make sense. It dumbs down the essence of the machine.
With cloth seats and roll up. That's my dream car. Hey, I will say this. First off, number one, Doug, we're noticing that you don't look very clear on your camera. So if you need any advice as far as how to get that to look better, let us know.
I hear just smearing Vaseline on the lens.
But
that was the look we were going for.
Yeah, real talk.
That's awesome. It's not me this time. That's all I care about.
Hey, my dream cabinet is a Simpsons cabinet with a trackball that does nothing. So I'm pretty excited about that. No, but all joking aside, I actually always wanted a Simpsons cabinet really bad. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm going to get the Street Fighter 2, even though it looks awkward as far as the height to width ratio. It still has an amazing game lineup. I already gave away my Street Fighter 2, anticipating a online one coming at some point. So to have that with online, but also have the Darkstalkers games is pretty sweet. So I'm still excited. I'm excited about the announcements. I'm getting X-Men, Killer Instinct. I know that's not part of the announcements per se, but I didn't think it was bad. It all depends on what you have and what you wanted, but I was pretty stoked for Simpsons. So
I'm excited for Simpsons too, but Jamie had a comment here. Let me pull this up real quick, and Doug, you might have to finish it off because it only gives us a little bit of the comment here, if you find it in there. But he was basically saying, what's interesting is everybody has been begging for the Simpsons and X-Men, and now you have them, yet they're still giving them an L.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest kind of takeaway in just my perspective personally is that the announcements for this year's E3 from Arcade 1-Up cater more towards a new consumer that isn't already, having 10 machines deep of the Arcade 1-Up product. So the new consumer, this is great for them. They haven't either seen or cared about the 14 other Pac-Man releases. So a Class of 81 cabinet's right up their alley. Simpsons, heck yeah, they're like, that's a great beat 'em up. Why not? Yeah. X-Men, again, great beat 'em up. Why not? So things like that, easier to entice a new consumer. A new Street Fighter Big Blue, again, if you haven't bought any of the other Capcom products and you haven't bought a Street Fighter one, this one's got online play, 12 great games. The look is aesthetically debatable whether you like it or not, but for a new consumer that doesn't already have one of the older machines, it's perfect. So I can understand why people that have already been on the Arcade 1-Up bandwagon were not impressed or not thrilled with these announcements, because technically they don't really do much for them because they already own these machines. Again, if you already own Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's no real reason for you to go out and buy Turtles in Time. So again, that specifically caters only to a newer consumer.
Well, unless, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, unless you're going for the arcade in your basement that resembles the actual cabinets.
Yep.
If you got the room and the money, absolutely.
Well, you'd have to get rid of your old ones. You'd have to get rid of the old ones.
You wouldn't have to get rid of them. There's people out there that got 4 iArcades.
Well, we're not Glenn.
No, you're not Michael B. the Game Genie. Let's
and you're not Michael B. the Game Genie. So, I don't know, guys. Sorry, Adam. I can't stand with you on that Street Fighter Big Blue. I just think it's.
Yeah.
I get it. I do get it, but it looks like a kid put it together. I'm sorry if that's the wrong thing to say here, but I can't see it, man.
Cabinet design.
I definitely wouldn't call it a pretty looking cabinet.
It's not.
But it's big and blue.
No.
It's just not.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
it's not false advertising. It's big. It's the tallest machine they've
Yeah.
ever put out, and it's blue.
But the proportions are just all wrong.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. The
No, I
proportions are
agree.
wrong.
I mean, once again, yeah, I'm not getting it for looks. Like, it's literally the game lineup in online play. That's
So
it.
here's what you do: you
And-
wait until they come out with the replacement PCB, and you just throw it in one.
I already gave away my other one. I
Ah!
already gave it away.
Oh well,
It's too late. This was
You're
before that was
toast.
even announced.
you're toast.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially for people that have the legacy, I can understand them not being excited at all for this stuff. You know, because
Well, the only thing I can think that could save it is like, do it yourself retro arcade or 99 Lives arcade
There you go.
or Tesla arcades where they can make the center board, the control panel, and widen it. Because that's really the big problem is it's so tall,
Yes.
but it's still narrow, and it looks like, I don't know, it just doesn't look proportional, and it stands out in not a good way with the other machines that they have.
That's why I wanted to
Making
clarify
it wider
that.
would fix it.
Yeah. It looks like, when I say it looks like a kid put it together and it's not proportionate. It doesn't look like they're trying to do like the original looks to the cabinets. It's similar, but it's just not quite there, in my
you
opinion.
guys didn't want to arcade one up with the riser on a riser.
No.
Okay, that's fair.
Or I actually like on all the photographs, everyone there is like half stand kneeling. They're all like, their knees are all bent when they're next to the
I
machine.
know.
Yeah,
Just get shorter.
Yeah.
Just get shorter people, shorter models. They're out there. They would work.
What,
Well, it's,
I gotta say,
it's-
while we're on this subject too, for the Ninja Turtles, I was spot on with Michael B on this, to where if they, which I'm happy they didn't though, because it saved me some money. If they would have came out and re-released the Ninja Turtles with the original artwork, to where now it looks
I
like more
agree.
like the original cabinet with online play,
Sold.
I would have been, yes, I would have just bought it again. But the fact that they did Turtles in Time, I was like, thank you, you just saved me money. I was actually okay
Yeah,
with it.
I agree
But
with
I'm not
that.
buying it now.
I actually like Turtles
Yep.
in Time. I think that's a fun.
No,
game.
I like
I
it
like
too.
it too. I just like the artwork.
No one's complaining about the
Feels like-
game. It's the puppet,
Yeah.
weird looking,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
But that's,
Kmart
but
version of the live action suits. Is what
out of everything, though, out of
exactly.
everything, that is so easy to fix. There
It is,
no,
but
no,
it's the process that you have to fix it. You
It's
shouldn't.
fun though. What thing have you guys bought that didn't need a little bit of adjustment? The bat tops, for a ball top, for a sandwalk controller, for there's always something you're gonna do to it to make it your own.
Yeah.
So if it's only the artwork that's stopping you guys, that is
No, dude,
really
the
not a difficult
turtles-
thing to fix.
Those turtles on the Turtles in Time cabinet will haunt your dreams. Those
Yeah.
things are literally just like
Agreed. That's a good
It's
screenshot there.
freaking terrifying.
All right,
Oh,
we got to keep
man.
this moving. Otherwise, we're not going to get through it
Yeah,
all because Doug's got a lot of cool stuff here. And no point intended for the cool. But let's go over to our list here. We got Nintendo. Doug, take us away.
Zelda, my favorite.
Yeah, so I mean, these are my personal highlights from Nintendo. They actually
But you're
had
spot
quite an
on.
impressive long listing of games. But the highlights for me were Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. Raises more questions and answers, gets people talking. Gives us something to chatter about, which is great. The thing we all kind of knew was going to come because it was low hanging fruit. The Zelda 35th anniversary Game & Watch. What we didn't know was the game that's going to be included on it. So we get the original Legend of Zelda. We get Zelda 2, and then we're also getting Link's Awakening, as well as a rehashed version of Game & Watch with Link's face on it. So 3 great games on the Game & Watch for $50. You get that aesthetic of the Game & Watch. So Glenn, there's no excuse for you not to buy this and at least try it. Turn it on.
No, I am definitely going to buy the Game & Watch. I don't know if it'll come out of the box, but I'm definitely going to buy it. Maybe I'll try it.
Well, can you now? Did that sell out yet?
No, it's still
The Game &
up
Watch?
for.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
Oh, it is still up?
as of
Okay.
yesterday, it was still up.
Yeah,
sold
I'm
out a
not
couple
worried
places.
about it. The regular Game & Watch, Doug and Steve, I think pre-ordered it. I waited. I didn't pre-order it. I got it, no problem. I think that this also will be available, no problem. And if it is all gone, hey,
Yeah.
one less thing.
Well, I didn't pre-order this one though this time. Despite Adam and Jordan really kind of pressing it during their stream, I resisted because of
Way to
Mario
be supportive.
Brothers. No. I was I was ready to go buy the Metroid Dread a few, but they're like, oh, it's sold out. It's gone. You can't get the
Special edition.
special
Yeah,
edition. It's
that
gone.
went quick. The amiibos went
Amiibos.
immediately too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was kind of disappointed with that, but that's what I'm most excited for. I'm not. I hate to say it. Breath of the Wild 2. I haven't gotten through Breath of the Wild 1, and I have a hard time with that. I would have Link to the Past. What's the Skyward Sword coming out here in July? That I'm more excited about than this. I'm probably gonna be crucified for that, but
Yeah, it's just gonna be no comment for me on that one.
well, I haven't been able to get into Breath of the Wild. I feel like I'm just walking around aimlessly.
It's okay. It's only like the game of the year.
I get it. I
Find the
do.
memories.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic game, and I get it. It'll take you a while to play. So if you haven't beat and played through the first one, obviously your excitement level for a sequel is going to be lower because you haven't invested as much time as everybody else. But
I at least
for
played
those
the
that haven't
original.
invested those time, Metroid Dread. I mean, something to tide you over and hold you off until we get the new Metroid Prime 4. So a new,
That
2D
that
scroller.
looks amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Completely surprised everybody.
Almost
And
did
then
it.
also Cruise and Blast, Raw Thrills game, one of the last kind of current arcade games. If you go to like a Dave and Buster's or something like that, and you actually find something that's not a prize redemption arcade, you might actually stumble upon Cruise and Blast, which is super fun to play in its arcade form. It's coming to the Nintendo Switch and coming with a lot more tracks, so definitely something to get excited about.
Yeah, that looks really good.
I will say, I'm not trying to convince you to do it, Steven, but there's some games that are open world that you just feel like I'm just roaming around doing nothing, where in Breath of the Wild there's an actual purpose for roaming around. Just throwing that out there.
I think the hardest, like I've gotten I've gotten decently far in it, but my biggest issue is like in Zelda, you don't lose your sword. I don't like
Oh,
when
you don't like the damage
I
of
hate
the weapon
that.
damage?
That-
Yeah.
If you look some stuff up, that's like the main complaint from almost everyone on
That's
that game.
not
if there's
Zelda.
any complaint, it's usually
Mhm.
yeah. And I would agree with that. That part was a little annoying.
That's like when the MacGyver remake came out. Okay, the kid that played MacGyver, and he's playing with
What
guns.
an interesting connection.
Wait. He's playing with guns through the whole show, even though they canceled it after, 4 or 5 seasons. He's playing with MacGyver hated guns. All he had was duct tape, chewing gum, and his pocket knife, okay? Zelda is sword and shield. Yeah, you can lose your shield every now and again, but you didn't lose your sword. You upgraded your sword through the
Was that
whole
really
thing.
Link? That was Link.
But yeah,
Correct me if I'm
Link
wrong.
was the character, but Zelda was the
Quiet,
princess.
you never played the game.
I never
Yes.
played it, and I know it's Link and not Zelda.
The game is called Zelda. The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, but Zelda didn't have the sword and shield. It was Link.
Okay. I said in Zelda. In Zelda, okay?
God, man, if you're gonna talk so good about this game, at least know the
Oh
game
my
you're playing.
goodness! Listen, at least I played the
Can
original.
I run off my? Yeah, can I run off my top 5 out of what we saw? I can do it quickly.
Go for it.
Go for it.
We got. I'm gonna do Breath of the Wild 2 just because that was the most excited. But I don't even know if this part counts as E3 because they announced it right before. But I'm gonna put it on there. Elden Ring, I think looks amazing.
You're going off
I love
script.
Bloodborne in this Souls game. Yeah, exactly. But it looks amazing.
Wait,
I'm
we
gonna
didn't get
throw
there yet.
out, Metroid Dread, and then I'm gonna get to Mario Party Superstars, because I absolutely love the Mario Party games. The N64s are some of my favorite, and they're basically remastering some of the best things. So I was very excited about that. And then the thing that surprised me that I was not expecting to love so much was Hunt the Night, which basically looks like a Link to the Past meets Bloodborne. Looks amazing. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Wait a second. I thought one of your favorites was Mario Golf.
Yeah, but I already knew that before.
That was announced
okay.
before
Yeah,
E3.
yeah.
All right,
so
I'll let
it's
that
hard
slide.
hard to say that's an E3 announcement.
All right. Well, they showed it either way. Okay.
Yep.
So people in the chat room, based on whatever it is that you prefer, that Nintendo, they released a lot of games or announced a lot of games. Win or lose, W or L on the Nintendo announcement here, right, Doug? That's what we're doing. W or L.
Yep. Just keeping it simple. W or L.
Let's put it down. I'm marking everything here on my phone, so if you see me down here, that's what I'm doing, trying to see who came up winners,
Yeah.
who came up
We got a
losers.
super chat from Zohar. It says, I got a new golden retriever puppy, and she keeps looking at the TV because her name is Zelda. It's hilarious.
That's funny. Let me
That's-
pull that up there.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So thank you, Zohar, for that super chat, and awesome name for a dog. For
All right.
sure.
So Nintendo looks like they're giving a lot of W's to in the chat
Yeah.
here.
Said
I'm
I was
confused though. How did they
I
not
would say
name a dog
Nintendo's
like
definitely a win.
Raiden or something from Mortal Kombat? How did he go to Zelda for naming his dog? How'd that happen?
Because The Legend of Zelda is a great game by all accounts.
We're
except
talking
for
about
yours, Glenn.
Zohar. Zohar is Mortal Kombat. So how
Maybe
does
he
it
already
go
has a dog
from?
named Goro or Melina or something.
I want a dog named Sonia. Come here, Sonia. Come here, Sonia. Get off my leg, Sonia. Oh no, don't get off my leg. That's actually okay.
It'd be awesome to name your dog Reptile. That'd be really
There you go.
Um,
He likes Zelda better than Mortal Kombat. I'm going to put that comment up because I don't think I've
Wow.
ever.
Yes.
This
You
is
sure it's
something.
really Zohar. It could be like a ghost account. It doesn't sound like
I
something.
was
he
going
would
to say this needs to be screenshot because I don't know if I've ever heard him say this.
No.
All right.
I think we're being punked.
All right, I got to keep this moving, guys, here. So let's go to our next category here, which is indie games. Talk to us, Doug.
Yeah. I mean, there was a ton of indie games, and this is literally
good.
the one that reached and stuck out to me the most. There was a bunch of them. I think there was a firefighter girl one that was also pretty cool.
yeah.
I struggled to remember the names of them just because the indie showcase was like every 30 seconds. Hey, here's a new game. Hey, here's a new game. But this one, I'm a skateboarder. Been skateboarding for a long, long time. This one's like a cutesy. It reminds me of like Rocket Power, the Nickelodeon animated television show. 2.5D side-scrolling kind of arcade-style skateboarding game. It's not exactly going to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but it's going to be something that still has some fun gameplay elements to you and has a different design aesthetic that might be worth your checking out.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I think it'll
Like,
definitely
even
be
if
better
you fall,
than
it looks like you
Indy
can't break
5.
your arm and wear a cast.
Indy
Oh, sorry.
5. I think Kathleen Kennedy's got a hand in that Indy 5. But, I'm not sure if that's going to be very good.
And this is going to be available not just for the Switch, but for like PS5 and
All the major consoles,
all of-
PC,
yeah, all your
Steam, all that
major-
good stuff.
here. I'll put this up so you guys can see some footage here, since it's the only indie game we have on the list right now. So you can kind of get it. See, I would actually play this.
I like the artwork.
It looks a lot of fun.
It reminds me of Jet Grind Radio, and I really like that.
That cell shade look.
Yeah, that was that and a cross between that and Skate or Die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Skater Die's off.
Dude, those were the best. Like Ski or Die and Cool Borders, all those side scroll, like they were great. So, anyways, that
And
is that.
you guys, Jordan, Adam, I know you guys probably jotted down more indie games than I did. Do you guys remember any standout titles?
Unmetal.
Yes.
Unmetal looks amazing. I mean, I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. So a game that looks it. I mean, the developers, if you go to their site, they even tell you it's Metal Gear inspired. Like, it's literally a game that almost looks like it's making fun of Metal Gear Solid, but done in
It's
like
so
kind of
humorous.
a Super Nintendo style. It looks very fun.
Is this what we're talking about right here? Unmetal?
Yeah.
Yes, it's like
If you hear the commentary, it is so good.
it seems like extremely tongue-in-cheek, like like the game starts off and it's like I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit, and those guys right there, they come out of the helicopter, they're like, stop, you're being arrested for a crime you didn't commit. Like, it just looks really dumb but really funny.
Like there's whenever you're trying to sneak around, this guy hears a cat and he goes, "Oh, it was just a cat," and then all of a sudden he hears you and he's like, "Is that?" Oh, and then the guy goes, "Round." He's like, "It's just another cat." Like your character, it looks pretty great.
Oh, it's basically the
But-
police squad of video games. Okay.
Yeah.
it looks good.
Yes.
Like some
Very
guys
meta
ask you if
and
you
aware
can
of
pass them some
itself.
toilet paper, and then you go to give them toilet paper and then knock them out afterwards. It looks pretty
So
good.
it's like a spoof game then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that looks
But
pretty-
another one I keep forgetting the name of. It's like
You got to tell me. I can't find it.
Oh, the Akatori.
Akatori looks really cool. So Hunt the Night and Unmetal were my two favorite, but Akatori also looks really cool.
Akatori.
And I was throwing it all over. I already throw stuff out to the developers and stuff about trying to get this on iArcade. I was like really trying to make this happen. All three of these games.
All right, let's take a look at Akatori here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good
Oh,
too.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
like a good, almost like
look at
16-bit,
that.
but it's right up your. See,
Looks
Glenn,
really
you got to
cool.
take your Switch out.
Well, can I play this on a PC?
Yep. It's gonna be PC. I don't even know if they said Switch on that one.
No, this is
Yeah.
this is Switch
There's no
/
place.
PC. It is for both.
Mhm.
We don't play
Oh,
on
it is?
Switch.
Yep, it's Switch/PC.
Yeah, and then
You don't
Prince
name a game
Malcolm
console
said
after a light switch. You just don't do it.
River City Girls 2 and RVC. So yeah, River City 2
Yeah.
or River City Girls 2, a nice side-scrolling beat 'em up action akin to River City Ransom. So yeah, I mean, who doesn't love or appreciate that? If you don't, I don't know what to tell you, because it's one of the better NES games of all time. But I'm looking
Yeah.
at Glenn because he's probably never played it.
I haven't.
Yeah, that's what we figured. River City Ransom, right up there with Bad Dudes and all the other ones, man. Come on.
Yep.
So
We
we'll
play Bad
probably
Dudes.
we'll probably just forego the W or the L for the indie games because that's so subjective and not
Yeah.
everybody even probably
Okay.
paid attention to the indie games. So we'll move on from that.
All right, so let's
Before
take
W that's way anyway. I give a W to the.
let's
Yeah, it
let's
was
take a
very good.
look at the next category here. We've got Square Enix.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Doug.
Ooh, that's
So
tough.
these were the two standouts for me. Was the new Guardians of the Galaxy game. There was a couple people that were confused initially and thought it was going to be like DLC for the Avengers game, but nope, this is its own
Yep.
independent Guardians of the Galaxy game. Think Sony's Spider-Man game on the PS4, PS5, just this time with the Guardians of the Galaxy characters. So we got a pretty lengthy trailer, and there was a couple of clips of gameplay, but it looks pretty cool. Voice acting, animation, everything looks next gen. So definitely excited about that because I've enjoyed the Spider-Man games from Square Enix and Sony. And then we also got a new look at Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, which is a prequel/sequel to the original Final Fantasy game, only with obviously updated graphics and stories and characters and everything like that. Different fighting mechanics and things like that. So pretty excited for both of those for sure.
And So Hard to Replace looks very good.
What's that?
Yeah. So, man, that's a tough one because I just remember watching the Square Enix one and being pretty disappointed. But at the same time, when I kind of think on it, it's like the Guardians thing was at least a surprise, and I feel like that's what was lacking a lot through E3 was surprises.
Mhm.
And so that was kind of a nice surprise. It's just because everyone has their own expectations of what they're hoping to see. So
Correct.
I mean, in reality, though, it really wasn't bad. I don't know what I'd rate it if it's a W or L. My point is, though, it seemed worse than what it was, to be honest.
They also
That
announced
makes
some free DLC for the Avengers game that's Black Panther focused. So, I mean, free is
Yep,
always good. And Black Panther adding him to the Avengers game, which is great because that game kind of felt unfinished. It was one of those prime examples where you pay $60 for a game that you feel like you got 70% of it and you're paying for DLC later on that fills those
Cyberpunk.
gaps. Yeah. Looking at you, Cyberpunk 2077. But
Yeah.
it
I almost
seems like
bought it today.
they're kind of aware of that, so they're kind of putting their hat in hand and saying, we're sorry, we gave you an incomplete, faulty game, here's some free Black Panther content. So that's a step in the right direction.
And Glenn, how many Final Fantasy games do you own?
They're all a fantasy in this house. This is too long.
I know. I own them.
I'm from the generation
I don't
you
play
put
it.
the cartridge in, you shoot, and you kill it. And that's where I grew up on. I draw the line pretty much at ease and like the older Fantasy Stars. If it's too many hours, I don't have time, man. I have a job, I have kids, I have my fans, all three of them. I got to give them their attention.
I watch Adam play it and just makes my head hurt. And I know we passed this, but I want to ask you guys really quick with the Switch because nobody brought it up. Was Mario Rabbids Part 2? I hate the first one.
That looked really cool.
But I hate the first one. I'm like, this is so stupid. That's why it was only $10 when I bought it.
Well, then you can maybe buy this one for $15 a month after it's released.
Well, I will. I'll buy it after it drops. But I just
I don't know if it's gonna be any good. I didn't play the first one.
play
I
it
thought the
because you'll
trailer
agree
for
with me.
Rabbids 2 looked interesting, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
gonna buy it.
that was just something I was thinking about.
So,
All right.
Adam, you mentioned that you were, you had different expectations from Square Enix. What were you hoping to see or wanting to see from their E3
So
announcements?
here's what this is what I thought was very strange about E3. We're probably going to get into this. I just thought companies have made some weird decision choices. I'm like, who's part of these marketing teams? Where, for instance, the Amico, I can't believe I'm going into this, but they're sitting on Earthworm Jim, okay? to me that was like their biggest announcement. They didn't even show it through their whole thing. I'm like, you didn't even show like clips.
So
of
they
Earthworm
showed a
Jim?
hand-drawn picture of
No,
it.
I
At
know,
the
but I'm
end.
saying games. Like they didn't even announce that.
La-di-da, here's a picture I scribbled
Yeah.
on a Denny's napkin.
But you guys know what I'm saying though? For all the people that aren't like huge gamers, have no idea what that is. I feel like you should have been saying, "Hey, we got Earthworm Jim coming." Like, oh wait, now I'm kind of curious, but I was just like, "What? That's weird." So, anyways, I just assumed that they would like actually show some more stuff for Final Fantasy 16. Maybe even throw some sort of teaser play of Final Fantasy 7 Part
remake.
2, which
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that was slim, but I just meant that could have took it from, oh, this was fine, to, wow, this was amazing, sort of thing.
I mean,
So,
even if they had like,
but you know, they're probably going to do stuff at whenever Sony's comes about too. So
even if they have had like the shortest, easiest commercial or like trailer ever of Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2, I mean, that showed something. I mean, it could only be 10 seconds long, and I think people would have been excited. Like, just proof that they're doing something towards it, and it's not going to be 10 years till we see the second part of this game that's probably going to have 5 parts, you know?
I agree. I mean, I was like you. I was hoping for more newer Final Fantasy updates, whether it be remake or 16, something like that. And I thought they could have done the easy thing and just given us 10-second of pre-rendered, CGI animation. Doesn't even have to be gameplay, just something
clips,
to,
whatever,
exactly,
whatever.
something to feed the ducks, so to speak. But
So what are
they
we?
didn't.
So what are we rating Square Enix here? Are we rating this one or are we not?
I mean, we can try. I don't know how many people in the chat are, Square Enix focused people. I know that's more of a RPG type of, field, but I'll go ahead and give them a W, but it's like literally like a 70% C grade or a 65%. I mean, it's just, it was positive, but it wasn't great.
Same, Doug. Yeah.
So we're
At least
getting
there were a couple new things.
Yeah. It wasn't all stuff that was completely known about already, but at the end of the day, they didn't live up to expectations or people's.
No, we're getting a lot of L's in the chat room here, and so we'll put them down as an L. Let's move along to the next one that we have here on the list. Here, let me get this pulled up. Ooh. Xbox.
Yeah, so I mean, Xbox, Bethesda, they had a big presentation. Again, these are just a couple of the little highlights that I put down. Freaking finally got a release date time frame. Didn't get an exactly date, but we got a time window. So they said, this holiday/fall for the new Halo game, which is great. I mean, it was supposed to be a launch title, and then everyone said, oh my God, this looks like an Xbox 360 game. How could this possibly be for the new console? So they went back to the drawing board, fixed some things. The new trailer I thought was impressive. Another game I thought looked pretty cool was Party Animals. It looks like, what is it? I'm trying to think of the game it's a mashup of. It looked like, I'm drawing blank. Anyways, I'll pass on that one because I can't think of the game it looked like.
Phone a friend, Doug. Phone a friend.
Yeah. Well,
Doom?
Complete Geek, help me out. Like the Party Animals fur fighting game. It looked
like.
Oh,
I think that's like a mixture between like.
Looks a little like
Fall Guys / Little
Fall
Big
Guys.
Planet.
There we go. I kept wanting to say Among Us, but I knew it wasn't Among Us. Fall Guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that looks fun.
Looks humorous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I love just ridiculous party games.
Like I said, it's a ridiculous party game, and obviously it's not going to take itself seriously. It's going to put a smile on your face. You can play it with buddies, and it's going to be available on Xbox Game Pass, which was a recurring theme for a lot of their announcements. I literally think like 85% of the games that they were showing in the Xbox Bethesda game showcase all ended with available on Game Pass, which is just like a crazy value if you're already subscribed to the Xbox Game Pass. Because
I want to know what that is.
That looks fun.
Yeah.
They're bouncing on some weird.
Glenn would play this.
I would play this.
I'm playing this game for sure, 100%.
Absolutely, it looks like a blast, especially with friends. And if you have Xbox Game Pass, it'll be free to use, so to speak.
This looks like Bomb Squad. This looks like iArcade Bomb Squad.
Yeah, like Bomb Squad, Fall Guys. Sure. I mean, it's not exactly a brand new concept, but it's it's got a nice cutesy makeover, and I'm all for it. I mean, who doesn't want to look at cutesy, kawaii-looking stuffed animals blow each other up and throw each other in front of trains and under submarines and things like that? So I was pretty excited about that. And then we got the trailer for the Elden Ring game, which is essentially Dark Souls meets Game of Thrones. George R. R. Martin from Game of Thrones is, I think, a collaborative writer of the series or / game. So depending on where you stand on a like or a love or disdain for that man.
I think it actually said he created the world that the game is.
Yeah. So apparently he's got time to write a video game, but not write his own, book series and finish that.
So bad, yeah.
But if you're into, fantasy lore and hopefully a game that is not as abysmally difficult as Dark Souls, maybe they, up it or lower the ante, so to speak, with the difficulty. But this is open world, and it looks pretty sweet as far as the cinematics and everything.
That's one reason I didn't get Dark Souls, was because everybody said how hard it was, and I'm like, I want to enjoy this.
Games. Yeah, I like to sit back and relax and enjoy games.
Yeah.
I don't want to scream and throw things because I've spent 4 hours of my downtime just grinding into something only to die and have to restart again. If I want to do that, I'll play the old Mega Man games on NES.
Ain't that the truth, though?
Mm-hmm.
No, it does look good. It looks really good as far as quality on that. So what, Glenn? Which ones are sticking out to you? Which ones are you pre-ordering? I see you over there.
Well, I gotta admit, the animal one looked really, really fun. I mean, it just looks like a fun game. I get like my son involved and friends involved and just go crazy like a party night. But that last one looked pretty good too. It reminds me, of the Castlevania series, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like or Resident Evil series. But that one looks really good too. But will that play in my Vectrex?
It'll look a little different, I'm sure. The graphics, the polygon count, it's going to be what, 1.5, 2 maybe.
We have to live and learn with the classics. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So we get another super chat here from Zohar. I cried during the trailer for Replaced. So good.
Mm-hmm. Replaced does look very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely a highlight of E3 for sure. But we've talked about Nintendo. Talked about Xbox, obviously, the big odd man out again, Sony PlayStation for second consecutive year, or technically third consecutive year, so to speak, not showing up at E3. Still don't know if they're going to do their own thing sooner rather than later. That was one thing, like a couple of the disappointments from Square Enix and other companies. I kept telling myself in the back of my head, I'm like, well, maybe they're just saving something for the Sony, press conference. And then the fact that we don't have an announced date for the Sony press conference makes me go, oh, maybe they don't have anything.
Yeah.
Because Capcom specifically, I thought their announcements were a little bit disappointing. It was basically just, hey, we're getting DLC for the Resident Evil games. Nothing really new. Oh, you want Street Fighter 6? We're not even going to mention it, talk about it.
Capcom. Yeah. It's funny. Adam kept giving me a hard time about this. Well, but it makes kind of a good point about their stream. I was actually kind of interested in the Phoenix Wright game. I actually decided I wasn't as interested after watching the Capcom stream. Like all the stuff they showed, I was like, that doesn't look as fun as I was thinking it was going to be. But yeah, Capcom, they pretty much showed 3 things, like you said, the DLC for Resident Evil, Monster Hunter Stories, and then the Phoenix Wright, and they're all 3 games that are already out and everyone knew where they were coming for a while. Like they're not anything new.
I just love that. DLC for Resident Evil 8 is coming. It's like, well, shocker.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just didn't.
Street Fighter 6 will come out one day.
Yeah, it didn't live up to the gravitas that normally goes with E3. Like you typically get big brand new reveals, surprise, secrets, things like that. And it's like, no, we're going to tell you something very obvious to you that is not a surprise, that not a lot of people were clamoring for. The things that people are demanding and asking, we're not even going to say, hey, yeah, we're working on it. It's an active development or anything. Dino Crisis. I mean, that was something I was loving, hoping, praying that would get announced, whether it be a new game, remake, whatever. Nothing. Just, nothing to even tease or hint at. And that's, I think, where a lot of people went into this or walked out of this with disappointment overall from E3, because they went in with preconceived expectations and they weren't having those expectations met.
Yeah. Other than the indie conference, as far as like the bigger companies, Xbox and Nintendo were really the only 2 that showed anything new that people didn't know were coming out,
Mm-hmm.
So what are we giving Xbox?
I guess that's true. Square Enix showed Guardians of the Galaxy. You're right.
Yeah. I'll give Xbox a W because, like I said, number one, just like the amount of games they showed that ended with available on Xbox Game Pass. So, like, again, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, the value on that just went through the roof after that announcement. They showed off some cool games. Battlefield 6, even though it's not exclusive to Xbox, looked amazing.
Yep.
I'm giving Xbox a W as well. I'm not a fanboy for any of the consoles. I own them all. I play all systems. I don't believe in fanboy in one way or the other, but it was an impressive showcase for sure.
Yeah, if you want all the games, you got to have all the
Doug,
systems.
why don't you tell us what your favorite console is? Can you write like a definitive?
Yeah.
Right here, Sega Genesis.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you couldn't give them a W. Same with Nintendo, honestly.
Yeah, but you know what? We're getting mixed. We're getting mixed here. We're getting some W's, some L's.
There's a L.
No, I see at least 6.
Okay, no, I see a second one. I'm sorry, I see the second one.
Wow.
I would add the one L.
lots of
The other
fire
L was supposed to
emojis.
go together.
Fire
to make
emojis,
the
I think,
W.
equal a W.
I think Glenn's
Like
the one giving it an
Microsoft
L.
could've showed Party Animals alone.
No,
like,
no,
W.
I would give them a W for it. I do agree with Doug. At least they showcased a lot of new content, which is better than what Sony did here. So,
all right.
But the couple games I just saw right now, I'm liking. I just saw them, so I'm gonna give them a W.
Well, we're gonna have to wrap this very quickly. We have less than 2 minutes here because these guys are going to be going
I can
on,
do a lot in 2 minutes.
and they're going to be giving me these controllers to win. So, guys.
Oh, and to be clear, this specific giveaway is for the Electric Volt Xbox controller.
Okay, that's what it was. I'm sorry.
PS5 Midnight Black and the Cosmic Red ones later.
Okay. So what do they got to do to win?
Basically, we're just gonna put their name in this drawing. It's not even a drawing. We like spin this wheel. It's kind of fun actually, and then it just
we've done it. We've done a couple giveaways, and
if the person's not there, we still do. We draw 2 more people just in case if we don't hear back from that person within 48 hours after we contact them.
To answer your question, Stephen, to be entered in the drawing, they have to comment. They have to show up. Video. Yeah, they have to comment on the video that we posted on YouTube about the giveaway and be a subscriber of the channel. That's the.
All right, so you guys got 2 minutes.
As we would love for everyone to show up to the stream. That would be
Thank
great.
you for answering
the
question, Jordan. Thank you for answering the question. We appreciate it.
We did say that if someone wins that's not actually in the stream at that moment, we would contact them. They'd have 48 hours to respond, and if they don't respond, then it would go to the next person. So we're going to spin 3 times and have. Basically, the first person that goes, if they're not in the stream, then the second, it would go to the second person if that first person doesn't respond in 48 hours, or the second person to the third, if that makes sense.
All right.
I'll tell you, Jordan and I just like to do giveaways. We like to give to people. There might be a chance we do a PS5 giveaway. We might do an Xbox Series X giveaway.
That's if a
Nintendo
PS5
Switch.
can even be gotten
a
hold
hold
of.
Who knows?
That might be 5 years from now.
Yep.
So you guys need to go over to their channel, youtube.com/CompleteGeekTV. Go subscribe. Go leave a comment. And be ready for the giveaway here in just a few moments. But
if you haven't seen their video on iArcade, look at it. It's fantastic. Great editing, great camera. I think maybe Doug did it for them, to be quite honest.
Hey, we appreciate it, Glenn. Wait till you see what we have in store for you and your products.
Oh, boy.
Should I bend over now? Should I bend over now?
How much is he paying you?
Only $1. We were like,
come on, Adam.
Okay.
All right, so real quick. iArcade, Nintendo, and Xbox all got the W's. Out of those 3, guys in the chat room, who is your favorite? Who had the
best in show?
Best in show across the board. We want to know. Put it in the chat room right now. You got 30 seconds. We're going to put it in there because then these guys got to bolt, and they got to get over, and you guys got to bolt and go over to their stream, which is going to start immediately after we shut down here. So... Guys, put it in the chat room real quick. Get it going. Who had your heart in E3 this year?
We're getting mixed. I'm seeing a couple of iArcades, a couple of Microsoft/Xbox, Nintendo. Michael B's trolling as always.
He just don't have no
Jamie
more room.
Loken with the Unico riser. Oh man. So,
guys, that Unico riser, that was the biggest announcement of E3.
It looks just from a high level, it looks like iArcade is eking this out.
I see that. I saw only like
Nintendo is neck and neck, but it looks like iArcade is gonna
Come on,
take
John.
away.
Come on, John.
Take it away.
Guys, I mean, I know we got to go, but I will say this. I think in the next year, iArcade is going to do some amazing stuff. I'm telling you, I'm going to speak it into existence. Streets of
There you
Rage
go.
4 is coming. Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I will make that happen myself. I'm going to go to the company.
he's gonna
That's
do
what
it.
we got to do here. It's going to happen.
So iArcade, just so we have it on the recording, iArcade is our winner for the E3. Thank you, Doug, for putting this together for a fun E3
Yeah.
wrap up. Something different, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan, Adam, appreciate you guys doing like 20 hours of
Sorry for
E3
the issues,
coverage,
guys. Appreciate you having us.
and appreciate you guys coming on.
All right. As we do this
Thank
wrap
you.
up,
That was fun.
Jordan and Adam, if you need to drop to go start your stream, we'll just finish our wrap up
Okay.
here. But you guys go over there to the stream. You can even leave now while we're finishing up the recording and go to their stream as soon as they get on, as soon as you get the notification, go over there and try to win that Xbox Elite.
By the way, guys, go hit the like button on this video for the Tech Buzz. Come on, let's show them some love.
Well,
I'm gonna log into my 12 accounts and give you a bunch of likes.
I tried
Anyways,
to
no,
win.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I tried to win. I couldn't win. Jordan found out, and well, everything happened for a reason. But guys, go over there to like it. Also, want to thank Mr. Douglas Smith, YouTube.com/CoolToy. Go check it out. And the master of, well, I was going to call it the Abyss, but you have.
It's better video, right?
Yeah, it's
Quality.
good. I like
stepped up
it.
The quality game, right?
Now we just got to work on the microphone. We're getting there. Baby
it's like
steps.
50 feet away. It's like.
What do you have it
over
50
there.
feet away for?
Well, I don't know. I'm still learning, man. We've been doing this 8 years. I'm still learning.
Oh my goodness. Glenn had his announcement for E3.
Yes, I did. It's
So guys, make sure you go check out his video for his announcement if you didn't see it. And guys, really appreciate it. We're gonna wrap it so you guys can go win your controller. Giving Jordan and them, we're stalling just enough that they got off, and they're gonna go over and start their stream up. So get over there, go win it. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, guys, keep it buzzing.